Amen. All right. Good evening, everybody. It is Shauna Michelle Poe here, featuring the beautiful Gail Mitchell here tonight. Gail is from our area here in South Dakota and has been with Life Vantage. Gail, for how many years now? 14, 13, 14.
I think 13.
Yes, 13 years now. And maybe I think she's going to share her story. So I don't want to take all that away. But one thing I want to tell you all is Gail is when you think of the description in the dictionary or chat GPT nowadays of what is a God-loving servant woman who just loves the world and wants to make a difference, that would be Gail Mitchell. And it would also be speaking to this fire, this woman, this warrior woman who is there for her people, knowing all the ins and the outs of how to make magic happen. And I don't say that lightly. For those of you that know Gail and work with Gail, especially when it comes to the back office, put in the chat what Gail is. She is a back office ninja. She is a business warrior, and she knows what to do and how to help you. And so she's going to give us this blessing tonight. So, Sean, I'm going to pass it over to you and Gail, but thank you everybody for being here tonight. And we want to welcome especially all the new consultants. We love you. You are here for a great purpose, and we're just getting started with some incredible things this year.
Awesome, awesome. Actually, we are going to fire it up first with Angie Glasser.
Awesome.
If you want to unmute, we would love to hear about some recent cool things.
Well, actually, it's my backstory of how I got on LifeVantage products. So forever, it just was John's thing, my husband, that Dorothy got him on products after COVID. And then it was more than 2.5 years ago that my knee started clicking and grinding. I love to run, started to do physical therapy because the x-rays showed maybe I have bone spurs. And at the PT, there was Protandem there. And I said, hey, I started taking that in February. He's like, great, don't ever stop taking that. So I'm like, hey, cool. And then by the time April comes around, my husband had ordered the collagen for because he saw Troy Leggy. What are you doing? You look so awesome. He wanted it for like wrinkles and hair. And then a week into him having the product, I started putting that into my body. And by that time, I was limping, and even at an event, I was on crutches. I couldn't walk. And then it was like early May that I am doing cardio again. And I'm like, should I pay for this expensive MRI? The MRI showed I have meniscus tear and lack of cartilage in my knee. And I love the Protandem, and Tri-Synergizer actually made my knee feel even stronger. And here I am almost to the 3-year mark with not having any other intervention. Can do everything except for run, but hiking, biking, squats, all that stuff. So
Love it, love it. So the products work. That's what I'm
yes.
hearing. I love it. And we love that you're so passionate about sharing them with other people to help people, out with better health.
Yes.
Appreciate you. And we've got, I know on here, Patty Connell. She's got a great story as well. Patty, are you out there?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can, yep.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I was so excited this morning when my cholesterol has been kind of high for 10, 20 years. It's always right around 250, and I just, haven't been able to get it down, but I refuse to go on statins. I'm kind of you're one of the worst patients. I tell my doctors I'd rather have a heart attack than go on statins, and they're just like, oh my goodness. So I started P84 third week of October whenever we were in Dallas, those crazy storms and people getting stuck in elevators and having a good time. And I have my Medicare physical coming up, and in the meantime, I signed up for function blood tests because I'm trying to do a deep dive into the hormones and all kinds of other things. So I got that done like mid-October, and then just Friday I had another blood test, and I went into Chat GPT. It's only like 101 days or 102 days. And my cholesterol dropped from 250 to 214 in
Wow.
101 day. And I really haven't changed anything except the P84. And the other day I posted, I was down 11 pounds at that point, but I'm also down 15 pounds and pretty much, I mean, not dieting, not doing anything crazy. I should be, but I'm not. And so I was just like, wow, I've always heard your gut is your second brain and, has a lot of neurotransmitters, but I was shocked at how important it was. That was kind of the missing link to get my health going in the right direction. So I'm over the moon. I can't wait for another couple months.
I love that. I love the new product P84 and what we're hearing and seeing from people. And that is absolutely astounding that you've had that success with those. So happy for you, Patty. All right, we're going to kick it off into the training portion on the back office. It's the end of the month, and we just want to run through some of the things that we use at the end of the month to make sure, first of all, that our business is in the right shape. We've got everything covered. And then for those of you that do have team members in your organization as well, too, there's going to be some stuff that you can look at for team members. And I'll say this, especially if you're newer or just not very versed in the back office, don't get overwhelmed by this information. Just take some notes, find a few key things that you can take away with this. If you need to watch the replay to get more, watch the replay. But do not get overwhelmed by the information. Data is your friend. It'll help you along the way as your business grows. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Gail. We're going to kind of tag team back and forth on this. But super excited for you guys to hear from Gail.
Hey, Sean, if I can interrupt super quick, I'm so sorry. It's being live streamed onto your personal page, just so you
Oh,
know.
fun. Okay.
Keep recording, but if you want to stop the live stream, if able. Not that the
Okay.
world, I mean, the world would probably love how to do all this.
We're good, Gail.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
I'm just going to start with what I do daily and then on the subscription runs and then on the 25th. So kind of how I work through the month. So I find that having an old-fashioned calendar works for me. What I do at the end of every day, like tonight, I'll get in the back office. I will go to the dashboard summary and organizational volume, and I'll record my totals for the day, the total volume for the day. And I'll do that every day. I also, every day, I go through in the back office under new members. I will go through the new member report and I will congratulate people. I have a Telegram page. I'll congratulate them there, or I may text them too. But I know Sean and Michelle do it on the One Person Big Difference, but I like to do it myself again so the people know that they're really appreciated and celebrated. So I do that also daily. So on the 5th, 10th, 15th, and 20th and 25th, that's our subscription run dates. So because I've recorded my figures daily on the night of the 4th, I have my numbers. The morning of the 5th, that's the first run of the month, I will take the difference between what is on the 5th in the morning and the 4th at night, and I will record that on the top left, the 5th of January, and I'll put that amount in there. So that is my subscription run for the 5th. Now, if you look below, it says second source. For those of you who have a very strong leg and you're working to get balance, on the second part there, I separate out my subscription run for the legs that are weaker because I really want to track how I am growing in that area in order to grow my business. So to me, that's important to know what that subscription run is. All right. So morning of. Also on subscription run days, I go through failed subscription reports. That's in the back office. And then on the right side, towards the bottom, it says failed subscriptions. And once you're in there, if you double click on the last order date, it'll bring the most recent to the top so that you don't have to search through all of them. And then you'll know you can go through and contact who needs to be contacted. If it's one of your downline, contact their enrollers and say, hey, I wanted you to know about this, but contact whoever you need to let them know. If you also, I go in before I contact them and I double click on the order. And if it's red on top, that means it hasn't gone. But sometimes it's not. That it's cleared. So it must have run since the report and it hadn't been updated. So I just go in, I click on it. If it's still red, it hasn't been processed. So I kind of do that also.
Oh.
Okay, so Sean, anything else? Let's see.
Yeah. So in the app, you guys, and online, you can see where your volume is same date compared to last month. But what I really like about what Gail said about writing it down later, or writing it down so you can see it for later, is if you're a month out, you won't know like what happened in November on that day or what happened in October. And so this allows you the opportunity to look at more information for a longer period of time and start to notice trends in your business. And start to identify maybe what was triggering those. Was it an emphasis on some kind of promotion? Was it something we were doing training wise? But the more data I believe that you have at your fingertips, just the better pulse that you can have on your business and start to notice things. And especially with those subscription runs, that information as well, you can see it in different places in the back office in the app where you know how much subscription volume is supposed to run and how much you've had to date. But what you don't know is really a breakout on each one of those subscription dates, whether it's the 5th, the 10th, the 15th, or the 20th, the 25th, unless you're personally keeping track in some kind of format like this. And whether it's writing it down on a piece of paper, that's what I did for years and years and years, or bringing it over to some kind of spreadsheet like Excel. Again, I think the more data that you have, and this doesn't take a ton of time, and it doesn't have to be at the very last moment of the end of the night, just at some point, closer to the end of the day, just jump in real quick, jot down that number, and then you're going to have it.
And I do have on that Excel sheet, I do have on the right side, on the 15th of the next month, you can go into your reports and then commissions. And on monthly bonus, you would obviously put that in there and then click next to the monthly is weekly. And you might have 3, 4, 5 you'd have to add up because you get paid weekly. And you can put that there and you can track your earnings through the year. And it's kind of fun to go back to last year to this sheet and just do some comparison. Like Sean said, you can see the growth or if there's less, and we'll move on from there. But it's just a great way to track it, and it's fun to look back over the years. So I use that. Okay, on the 25th, after all these subscriptions have run, then that's when I put a little more time into the back office. The detailed genealogy heading, how I set my report up. There you go. He's got it in there. This is how I set my back office genealogy up. And where you see organization, columns, and filters, you can click on columns and you can move stuff where you want it. And that's how you get these headings. And then I like to do 3 months so that you can go back a month or two and see where they were. And it helps you just see the growth in where they are. So once I have the detailed genealogy open after the 25th subscription, like I'll click on I'll go through the lines and I'll click on each one. And I do have gem rank in there. There is a separate report if it's easier for you, people who are close to gem rank, that you can click on that. I think Sean was going to show that. But anyway, there you go. You can get that report there and you don't have to do your addition or your subtraction. It's right all there for you in that report. So that's another way to get it. I have it set up in my detailed genealogy. I have a calculator right here. So while I'm in that line, I just focus on that line and that person. So that's how I have it set up. Um, Sean, maybe show the breakdown one now. There you go. Okay, so I've looked at this person's gem rank and I write that down. And then this is once you click on their name, this is what you get. And it'll tell you, like for this person, their next rank is senior consultant 3. So what you're seeing is what they're short of their next rank. Senior consultant 3. This is where, when I start this page 16 of this blue book, this is my friend. I mean, I can't do this without this because on this page it has everything that you need for, like it'll tell you, well, let me get my glasses on. Like it'll tell you, you know that you need 150 volume if you don't have 300 from a customer. And as you go up in the ranks, it'll tell you whether you need 150, 200, 300 starts at SC1. But it'll tell you like a SC1, GSV is group sales volume, and SC1 is 2,000. You can only take 1,500 in that rank. So for this person, we're working on, it's SC3, which is 6,000, and the sales volume requirement is 300. She's got that. So 4,000 max per leg. If you look on the right side going down, she isn't maxed out on any leg, but she is short. So if you take 6,000 and minus the 5,475, she's 525 volume short from SC3. I know that she has 228 customer sales because I looked on the line in my heading and I've done the math, so I know that that's what her volume is. So I will send this person a text and I would say, hey, it's the 25th of the month, the last subscription run. So where you're at right now is you have 228 customer sales volume. You're so much short from Onyx, which is another 5% commission increase, and you are 525 volume short from senior consultant 3. The example of a text where it's a little more techie, this one here, this is a person that was like had one runaway leg, and she could have done some work and really worked her way up with not a lot of effort. So this is where one leg is kind of maxed. So once you've maxed, like in SC3, it was 4,000. You can only use 4,000 of that person's volume, and then you got to get the other from somewhere else. And I kind of mentioned that in this text. So you kind of explain then how to get the volume here. You like if you're this short from SC2, and SC2 is this pay, SC3 you're this much short, and it's this much pay, and all the way up. And I went to MC1 because people on this Zoom have done miracles in the last days of the month. And this is just talking like, what have I got there? 30, 35, 44 volumes. So that's doable. So this is like a sample of a text. And on this text, I would put the enroller on this text. So I actually email or texted this person myself, and I input the roller on the text so they would know too. I didn't just send it without them, and they knew it. So I was just helping. So thoughts on that, Sean? Anything you want to add?
No, I love all that. And, one of the cool things with this is I do very similar things. And what I'll do at the end of the month is when I'm running through these, I'll just copy and paste one kind of generic one over and over and over again. And then I'm changing like who it's going to, what tier they're going, how far away they are, but the rest of the verbiage is staying the same. So you can use little shortcuts where you're not having to recreate this over and over again. Just put it in a place, whether it's the notes in your phone or a shortcut on your keyboard, where you can just quickly access the information, dump the information from the back office into here. Um, and just let people know, because a lot of the times what we find out is there's a good chunk of people that they know, but they appreciate that you had eyes and visibility on their business. But there's also a good chunk of people who didn't know. And that might get them to make that extra call, do that extra meeting, do that extra follow-up. So that's really at the end of the month what we're looking for is how can we get people closer to whatever that next goal of theirs is, whether it's a gem tier or a rank, or even just closing the distance between that a little bit more before the month ends. I put on this first slide just some arrows next to some of the reports that we use a lot over and over again. Gail, she mentioned most of these already. That member summary, that's if you remember back to this one, the seller title striking distance. Like for me and Gail, we're very used to being in detailed genealogy and then being able to quickly subtract out where their current CSV is, their customer volume, and whatever tier that they're working on to know how far away they are. But if you want a very simplistic way to do that activity, you just go to reporting. Then you'll click member summary, which I just showed you on that last screen, and then seller title striking distance. And it's going to show you exactly where they are and what they need to get to the next level without you having to do the math on it. So I know that is a blessing for some of you who just want the information right there and how to access it very quick. One new one that most people are unaware that came into the back office is the renewal fee report. And so on the anniversary month that you enrolled, there's now going to be that $50 renewal fee that happens each year to just help support some of the resources that corporate's giving us and the new technology that they're rolling out. And so this renewal fee report might be a good avenue just every once in a while take a look at to see who's coming up. On the right-hand side under health subscription, Gail talked about that unsuccessful subscription report. And then also right beneath it, the canceled subscription. So you can see in your business who canceled recently. And what I love about that report is it does give us visibility on something that may have changed, but just be aware that when somebody cancels a subscription, it doesn't necessarily mean that they canceled everything. So a scenario could be that somebody wants to change what's on their subscription. They cancel one subscription, but immediately set up a different one, maybe with an added product or one less product or something different. And so I'll show one more screen here that I use quite a bit. This is going to be on the new member enrollment screen. I thought I had the detailed genealogy one, but I don't. But it looks the same in detailed genealogy. Columns are going to be a little bit different. But what I do is I type the person's name that is in the canceled subscription report, and I look to see if their name and their information is in red or if it's in black. The difference here is anybody that's name is in red, they are not currently set up with a subscription template. So that's a good cue to reach out to that person and just kind of educate them on, again, the value of the products. We're not making these health changes necessarily overnight. It could be decades of stuff that we've done purposely or unpurposely to our bodies that we're trying to correct. And so we really want to give the products at least that 90 to 120-day run to really get our body back in balance and be as effective as it possibly can. If you notice that the information's in black, that means that the subscription template, at least one, is in place, and they will be receiving another round of products coming up as well too. And then that new member report, I do love being able to recognize people. We do this on a daily basis outside of the weekends when people come in on one person, big difference. But uh, what I would suggest that you do is start getting in the habit of doing your own recognition within your team as well too. those of you that have consultants underneath you, so that you see who's coming in, whether they came in as a consultant or a customer, and just recognizing that enroller for getting people educated and growing their business as well too.
One more thing. So I make a list as I'm going through that on the 25th. I'm writing it down. Then I text them. And then on the 30th or the end of the month, whatever it's 31st, I go back to this. I go back to detailed genealogy and I see what has or hasn't been done. And if there's something really close, I'll just send a reminder out. So on the last day, I will do that one more time. And then trackers. We have trackers in the back office now for Achievers Retreat and for the other one. So that's something else you can check for your team also. And
Love it,
then
love it.
on the member summary on the right side is rewards, your rewards customers. That's where you can find your list and go in and send them thank you notices, send them Christmas surprises. But that's a good place where you can it has our information and you can get a hold of them and contact them. And I use that a lot. So I think that was it.
I love it. I love it. And again, you guys don't get overwhelmed by the information. Take a few of these nuggets that you aren't currently integrating into your flows and just start with a couple. And over the course of time, those will just become habits that you do inside of your business. And then you can look to add more things. And then reach out to your upline and just ask them, hey, I mastered sending out texts at the end of the month to people that are close on gem tiers. What should I add next? And just allow them to help guide you through the flow. You don't need to do all of this at once. I think that could get a little bit too much, especially if you're newer. Just start to incorporate these over time into your business. And then, Michelle, we are going to leave you with 1 minute. I know that you want to talk about Lauren.
Okay, in one person big difference family Telegram, and I will put it in the Facebook group. We have a huge, beautiful gift and blessing from my dear friend. Those of you that know who Lauren LaHave is, put it in the chat. And if you've attended anything that Lauren LaHave has ever done, put in the chat if she's worth the time. If you've seen my IM cards, she's the creator of that. She has worked for Tony Robbins, is personal close friends with Tony Robbins for over 30 years. She does all of his life and wealth seminars in person and whatnot. And she is light to the world. She absolutely loves our mission here at Life Vantage. And she says she gave me X amount. And she's like, I'm going to give you this amount and you can get it out, but then I got to cut you off. So I've got 200 tickets and I gave the first to the people that did the push deal. Today we released a few others. And so tonight might be the last night. If you guys all go in and tell your teams to get registered for this, it's going to be free virtual. At the bottom, see the word impact? I've been using the word impact because I believe we're here for a huge impact this year. Use that word impact and you're going to get it for free. Okay, we're right at 8 o'clock, so we got to get off. But impact, you guys sign up for it. Get your kids involved, get your family involved, get your Bible study people involved. Women, this is for huge for women, but also for men. Men understanding the whole psychology of things, going through things, how it works. It is huge and amazing, and it's one day. So I'm going to get that sent out. Bless you all. We want to end on time and respect your time. And if you're in the Sioux Falls area or in states surrounding, get your tails to Sioux Falls on Sunday. I posted that. It's going to be a huge event we are launching. We are going and doing regular meetings here, and we are going to tell the world what we've got our hands on. We love you guys. I didn't get the squid.
All right, let's give a round of applause to Gail for teaching us tonight. Thank you. She is an absolute legend at the back office and informing people of what they need to do and where they're at. So we appreciate you, Gail. Have an amazing week.
Love you, Gail.
And we will talk to you all soon.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.